realtor with Bridgewell Real Estate Group, and in today's Tri-Cities Neighborhood Guide, I am going to be going over the prestigious Citadel. This is arguably one of the most desirable areas in all of Port Coquitlam, and I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about this neighborhood. I'm going to be going over schools, transit and buses. I'm going to be going through main roads, the area as a whole, real estate of course, and things to do both indoor and outdoor like where I am right now. So why don't we just get into it? So to start you off with Citadel, I think it's important that you guys understand the lay of the land. So in terms of the sub-area as a whole with relation to the rest of Port Coquitlam, you're actually one of the furthest sub-areas south. You are quite literally bordering the Fraser River, which is where I am right now, along the PoCo trail, which runs through a lot of Citadel as well. In terms of other surrounding cities or sub-areas on the west side, because Colony Farms Regional Park is actually inclusive of Citadel or part of Citadel, all of that is the border of the city of Coquitlam. On the northern side, you are primarily bordered by Maryhill and also parts of Lower Maryhill on that northeastern side as you kind of wrap around into Pitt River. On the south side there, as I said, it does go all the way down to the Fraser River, but I would say the main road on that south side is really the Maryhill bypass. And the nice thing about that is that you have immediate access both west into, say, Burnaby, Vancouver, very easily accessible to the freeway, or out east into Pitt Meadows, other parts of PoCo like Riverwood, where you can experience opportunities like Fremont Village, which I will get into in a later part for things to do. If you are concerned about main roads in the area, like where can I hook up to buses, what roads are going to be busier if I'm looking to purchase real estate, what am I going to have easy access to, like as I said, one to keep an eye out for on that south side is really the Maryhill bypass. That's a very, very main road where you're going to get a lot of traffic and a lot of traffic noise that might permeate to other areas that may be back onto Maryhill, so keep an eye out for that. Big one on the western side of Citadel is going to be Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy Street connects you all the way down into downtown Port Coquitlam, so the central Port Coquitlam area. On the northern side, you know, Citadel, it's an irregular shape, so there's no hard, firm border on that north side with Maryhill or Lower Maryhill, but I would say like one to kind of keep an eye out on because it kind of sneaks through parts of Citadel is Eastern Drive. You also have Citadel Drive, which runs through really like the heart of the sub area, and that has a bus pickup as well. And then on the eastern side, you want to keep an eye out for Pitt River. So those are really the main roads within Citadel. And then the last thing that I will leave you with is kind of my idea of the micro markets, even just within the sub area, largely which is defined by real estate. So the three are really Citadel Heights, something I very informally, it's not like a proper definition, but I call Lower Citadel, and then Citadel Landing. So the three of those, I mean, Citadel Heights is really pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of where I see it as the peak or the highest part of Citadel, and that is largely defined by a lot of the homes around Citadel Drive and Confederation, which is right around the elementary schools, like Castle Park Elementary is right at that corner. A lot of those homes are like the big, classic, prestigious homes, 2-story with a basement, 3-story homes, which I'm going to get into later. And then as you kind of move down Citadel, closer towards Pitt River Road, and you're bordering more of that Lower Maryhill area, the houses really change, and that's more of what I see as that Lower Citadel neighborhood. And then where I am right now, which is along the Fraser River, the PoCo trail, and on Argue, that is really what I define as Citadel Landing. It's really the base of Citadel, and it's below Maryhill bypass. So breaking down schools and accessibility for you, I think it's first important to start off with how the schooling system in the Tri-Cities works in case you're not familiar. For elementary schools, it is kindergarten to grade 5. We have middle schools in the Tri-Cities, so that's from grades 6 to 8. And then lastly, there's secondary schools, which is from grades 9 to 12. And so the really nice thing about Citadel is that you have immediate access to the elementary schools and the middle school. So where I am right now is Castle Park Elementary. This is a great elementary school option, and it's really at that Citadel Heights area right off of Citadel Drive and Confederation. And then moving to the middle school option, you have Citadel Middle, which is right off of Citadel Drive. The only one that is outside of the sub area is the secondary school, so that's Riverside Secondary. It is a French immersion school if you want to enroll your kids in a French immersion program, but obviously they have the full English program too. And that's more in the downtown core, so the central Port Coquitlam sub area, which I've also done a video on, and very roughly, like in terms of main roads, it's Shaughnessy and Pitt River. It's really not that far away. You can take the bus right into the neighborhood, and you also are only like less than a 5-minute drive away depending on what time of day it is, so not a huge deal. So moving on to accessibility and starting with transit options, really the main pickups are off of Citadel Drive and Pitt River. And so Pitt River will have a bus pickup that will take you into Port Coquitlam Station, which has obviously just like local buses and the bus routes, but it does actually have pickup to the West Coast Express, which is a rapid train into the downtown Vancouver waterfront area. One thing Port Coquitlam Station does not have is a SkyTrain. And so if you're looking for SkyTrain access, you actually mainly are going to want that pickup off of Citadel Drive. Right now, the bus is the 159 bus, but obviously that's subject to change. And that will either take you into Coquitlam Central Station, where you have the Millennium Line pickup. You obviously have the West Coast Express and the other buses that Coquitlam Station offers. But heading the other direction, it's actually into New West, and you're looking at Braid Station, which is also a very main SkyTrain station that will take you into the rest of Metro Vancouver. So the bus system overall is pretty good here. In terms of access to major roadways or getting into Vancouver by car, I would say this is probably one of the best sub areas to live if that's something that's important to you and you're like a daily commuter. And it's because you have immediate access to that Maryhill bypass, which very, very quickly connects you to the freeway heading out west into like Burnaby, New West, Coquitlam, downtown, etc. So that's great heading west. Heading east, if you're kind of more over the bridge and into Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge, this is also a very accessible location for you. So overall, you've got transit options, you've got great school options, you've got very easy access to the freeway. Although there are good transit options here, I would say that most people still have cars, so that is probably something I would recommend, but overall, a very accessible area. So breaking down my favorite part, which is of course real estate, you have lots of diversity within Citadel. The sub area as a whole is primarily single family detached houses, but you do actually have a decent amount of townhouse options, and you have two very rare opportunities to purchase into condos because there are only those two developments within the neighborhood. If you are going by the mantra that bigger is better, that is Citadel. Everything is bigger here. The condos, townhouses, detached homes are bigger, and I think that's why a lot of people kind of see it as a little bit more of a prestigious area, because that also comes with a bigger price tag. Starting off with the houses, and really going back to what I was talking to you guys about in terms of the micro markets and how I informally break down Citadel, it is primarily because of the real estate. So the two that I define is Citadel Heights, which is where we are now, and then Lower Citadel, which is more off of that Pitt River area. You have two very different styles of detached homes. So all of them are built within the 80s and 90s very generally, but up in Citadel Heights, you're going to see, like around me here, we have 2-story with a basement homes or 3-story homes. They're consistently bigger. You are often seeing like at least high 2000s, if not 3,000 square foot mark interior spaces being broken here, with roughly a 4,000 to 5,000 square foot lot size. If you're moving up into the next tier, 3,000 to 4,000 square foot interior space, you're often seeing a 6,000 square foot lot. Then as you get into the much bigger mansions, like 5,000 square foot interior spaces, that's when you're kind of seeing that 7,000 to 9,000 square foot lot, but you're not typically seeing a bigger lot than 9,000 square feet. So big homes and relatively large lot sizes, some more on the modest side. As you move down towards that Lower Citadel area that I was talking about, that's when you start to see actually more 2-story homes. So you do see a mix, like you'll see 2 stories, you'll see 2 stories with a basement, but they are usually smaller. So you're seeing like more in that 2,000 to 3,000 square foot interior range with a more modest lot size. Last but not least, to kind of finish off the houses within this neighborhood, you do see a lot of homes either with suite or suite potential, but just pay attention to whether or not they actually have like a separate entrance for the suite or a walkout basement, because that's something that could really impact resale value. So one last tip I'll give you about detached homes is just be aware of the type of home ownership that you have for the houses here. Most of the product is going to be freehold non-strata, but down towards that Citadel Landing, Argue Street, Fraser River area, you do actually have some unique products that are detached strata homes where you have to pay a maintenance fee. So just keep an eye out for that. And then moving more towards like the regular kind of multifamily living, you might see some duplexes kind of scattered around the sub area, but you have a decent amount of townhouse options. The townhouses are built mostly within the 80s and 90s. They're a bigger product. You're consistently seeing 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom homes that are above 1,700 square feet and very consistently in the 2,000 to 3,000 square foot range even. So it's very big. If you're looking for kind of that middle product between like what you think like a regular 3-story, 1,400 square foot stacker is and a house, that middle product is in Citadel, and it's definitely a great option for anybody looking to grow their family and not have to move again that might not want to make the stretch to a detached home. Last but not least, we have condos. Not a lot of condo developments here, very unique. 2 condo developments off of Argue in that Citadel Landing area as well. You've got a boat slip. They're 2-bedroom and 3-bedroom homes that are above 1,300 square feet most commonly, and all the way up to 2,000 square feet for interior space for a condo. Like that's huge, that's bigger than some townhouses. So for that particular product, you're going to see a lot of downsizers that are looking for that like one level but still big space, kind of like a house. And that's really like that niche market for that particular product. And again, it's waterfront, so you get beautiful views. All in all, Citadel is a great neighborhood for a lot of different people through a lot of different walks of life. It's very family friendly, so you obviously see a lot of families here, a lot of kids here. You have houses, duplexes, townhouses, and that rare niche condo market development. So definitely one to check out no matter where you are in your life. So last but not least, things to do both outdoor and indoor, and there is no shortage of options within the Citadel area. Where I am right now is Castle Park. Obviously a super fun place to be. You've got a spray park back here to tire out your children. You've got lots of walking trails all throughout the park. You've got like a nice open field area. You have a playground, and they actually even do Canada Day celebrations here where they host a big event. They do fireworks. Like it's just an awesome time. But if you are looking for kind of just like smaller parks or other options within the neighborhood, you've got Citadel Park, you've got Settlers Park, you've got Forest Park. Like you honestly have so many options. And obviously you're right kind of at that base starting point of the PoCo Trail, which is a 25-kilometer trail. It's flat, great for kind of like walking or biking, and you have a lot of different terrain all throughout that. So it starts in Pitt Meadows actually, and then the base kind of runs around down that Fraser River area at that Citadel Landing that we've been talking about throughout the video. You got that waterfront view, it's really beautiful. And then it moves more in towards that Colony Farms area that's also part of Citadel, which, fun fact, actually has 150 different bird species in it. And then it links up down into the downtown Port Coquitlam area where you get kind of more of that urban feel, but you run through Gates Park as well. Then it heads up into North Port Coquitlam through the Hyde Creek neighborhood, and then all the way up to the base of Burke Mountain, which is more on that northeast side of Coquitlam. So really, really diverse terrain. You get everything from like forest, creek, river, urban space, marsh, meadow, absolutely everything on this PoCo Trail. In terms of indoor spaces, I mean, you've got lots of different options. If you're looking more in terms of like what are the urban spaces that are around the Citadel neighborhood, you don't really have much commercial space within the sub area as a whole, but very, very close, and probably the most immediate access that you have is going to be downtown Port Coquitlam. So that's at central Port Coquitlam sub area as it's defined, off of Shaughnessy and Pitt River. You see a lot of restaurants there, coffee shops, little shops to kind of enjoy. It's a very vibrant space, and that's also where you have the brand new Port Coquitlam Community Center, which is a huge space that's got like a pool, it's got like laps, for example, sauna, steam room, fitness center, gymnasium, arena, games room, like the full shebang is right there. So very, very accessible to you within like a 5-minute drive of Citadel. Then you also have areas like Broadway, which has more like industrial spaces, but also has a lot of like businesses or even like gyms out of that area as well, like West Coast Iron, 30-minute Hit, Delish Bakery, like a lot of options there. And then you have everything kind of off of low heat highway, but very primarily I would say, and like what's very exciting for this area is you're close to Costco, which is nice for anybody that has that Costco membership. But right beside it, you also have Fremont Village, which has like the Walmart, it's got Mark's Work Warehouse, it's got Canadian Tire, like a lot of those bigger chains, and a number of restaurants there too. And then also Save on Food. So all in all, I mean, you're very well equipped within this area, whether it's outdoor or indoor things. And the nice thing about Citadel, as I've mentioned in the accessibility portion of this video, is that you have immediate access to pretty much every other city that you want to go to off of the Mary Hill bypass. So you can easily head west into Coquitlam, Burnaby, downtown, or head east if you want to explore more out towards like Pitt Meadows and Maple Ridge. Thanks so much for watching this video on Citadel in Port Coquitlam. I hope that you learned a lot and that it was helpful for you. If you do have additional questions or you are looking to buy or sell within the neighborhood, definitely feel free to reach out to me anytime. As I said, my name is Mariko Berg. I'm a residential realtor with Bridgewell Real Estate Group. In the Tri-Cities, Port Coquitlam, Citadel, this is really our bread and butter. So definitely feel free to reach out to me for any real estate related questions. If you are looking, maybe not just specifically within Citadel, but kind of out and around the area as a whole, you can also check out the rest of my YouTube channel or our resources tab on the Bridgewell Group website. It's got a Port Coquitlam, a Coquitlam, and a Port Moody neighborhood guide. You can definitely scan through all of those and break down a variety of different sub areas and get my perspective on them. So thanks again for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, or comment down below if you have any suggestions on future videos. Thanks so much.